In response to user complaints about the fixed ribbons in Excel 2007, Microsoft made it easy to modify existing ribbons or even create new ribbons in Excel 2010. Still, there are certain changes you are not allowed to make. For example, you are not allowed to rename existing ribbons, and you are not allowed to remove or rename buttons on existing ribbons. However, you can add buttons to existing ribbons, you can create new groups on existing ribbons, and you can even create your own new ribbons. To make any of these changes, you can either right-click any ribbon and select Customize the Ribbon, or you can select Options from the File menu and then Customize Ribbon. Each of these takes you to the dialog box shown here. First, look at the options on the left. There are many existing buttons in the popular commands, commands not in the ribbon, and all commands groups. Each of these buttons is wired to perform a certain action, so they are all ready to be placed on a ribbon. In addition, the macros group contains any macros you have written, and they can also be attached to ribbons. Here are my macros, and you might have your own. As an example, I will create a new group called Data Analysis on the Data ribbon for adding a pivot table or a table. This would allow me to perform these two important tasks from the Data ribbon or the Insert ribbon. I select the tab where I want the new group to be placed and the section of the ribbon where I want it to be placed. And I select New Group and rename it. Note that it has Custom in parentheses in the name to remind you that it is a group you created. Then I add the pre-wired pivot table and table buttons to this new group. Then I can check that this new group and these buttons have been added. Here they are. As a second example, I would create a new tab/ribbon combination to hold some of my favorite macros. I'll add it after Developer. I'll rename the tab and I'll rename the new group that was automatically created. Then I will find my favorite macros and add them to this group. These macros have generic names, tooltips, and icons, and I can change them by clicking Rename. Unfortunately, the choice of icons is somewhat limited. Now I have a new ribbon, and I can check that its buttons work as intended. Any of these ribbon changes is permanent, at least until you decide to undo them or make other changes.